Hello, my wise friends. Let me ask you something honest. Have you ever felt as if you were slowly losing little pieces of yourself? Not because you wanted to, but because others expected you to. Giving up the habits you love, staying silent to keep the peace, living according to someone else's pace, just to maintain harmony, fulfill a role, or keep relationships from breaking. I say this with all respect and deep understanding. Old age is not the stage where you're meant to lose yourself. In fact, this is the time to hold on to what is most precious: your heart, your mind, and the dignity earned over a lifetime. In today's video, I'll share with you 5 things you should never give up, not for your children, not for relatives, not for anybody. Not because you're selfish, but because you deserve to live with peace, dignity, and the freedom to choose your own path. And if this feels worth listening to, please subscribe so we can continue safeguarding the deepest wisdoms of this beautiful stage of life. 1. Never give up your dignity and self-respect. There is a truth that tightens my chest every time I think about it. The older a person becomes, the easier it is for others to dismiss them. They call you stubborn, difficult, out of touch, and slowly, if you're not careful, you begin to believe that you shall no longer hold much value. My wise friends, let me remind you, with all love, you are not a burden. You are a living treasure. You are someone who has experienced things the younger generation has never even touched. You have loved, endured, sacrificed, and built, not once, but through an entire lifetime. I remember a 78-year-old woman from South Africa who said, "I survived an attempt to end my own life. I raised 6 children alone. I buried the husband who walked with me for 20 years. And now, I choose to live slow, live beautifully, and not let anyone take my dignity away again." Self-respect is not arrogance. It is the quiet light inside you that says, "I have worth," even if no one acknowledges it. If someone belittles you, just smile gently. You don't need to shout to be respected. You simply need to stand tall, look in the mirror, and remind yourself, "I've come this far, and I deserve to be valued." 2. Never trade away your inner peace. There is a kind of exhaustion no doctor can treat. The exhaustion of pretending to be cheerful while storms are raging inside. The exhaustion of repeated small arguments, of judgmental looks, of gentle-sounding requests that suffocate you. The exhaustion of no one ever asking, "Is your mind at peace today, Mom? Dad?" My wise friends, I once met an 88-year-old man in the US. He walked daily, cooked for himself, stayed independent. He told me, "My children don't tire me with chores. They tire me with their anger and long silences whenever I say no to something." We don't need to raise our voices to protect our peace, but we can set gentle boundaries. "Sweetheart, I'm tired today. Can we talk later? I'll sit out this time. But I love you all." The mind needs rest just as much as the body. Not everyone understands this, but you should and you must protect it. Because inner peace is the very last thing we should hold on to when everything else slowly fades away. 3. Never lose your independence. Some mornings you wake up and realize people around you have been deciding everything for you without even noticing when it started. They choose your meals. They remind you when to sleep. They tell you not to go too far. They say, "You're older now, let us handle it." It sounds loving, but over time, you stop being you. A friend of mine, Eleanor, 79, living in Los Angeles, still drives, teaches Tai Chi twice a week, reads every night. She stays 4 days with her son, 3 days with her daughter. but she always keeps a small suitcase with her. Her notebook, medicine, reading glasses, her own wallet, and the little habits she refuses to let go of. She laughed and told me, "I don't want to live like an object being moved around. I want to live like a woman who is still alive and choosing." Independence does not mean rejecting love. It is the gentle reminder, as long as you can choose, you are truly living. My wise friends, I genuinely want to hear from you. Among these first three, dignity, peace, independence, which one feels hardest to hold on to? Share with me in the comments. Your story may be the light someone else needs today. 4. Never give up your personal space and privacy. There is something strange about growing older. When we were young, we dreamed of big houses and constant company. But in old age, the thing we long for most is often just a quiet corner to ourselves. Not because we dislike others, but because there are moments in the day when all we want is to breathe. Not to serve anyone, not to answer questions, not to hear suggestions, just to be. I once read a touching story from a woman who lives with her daughter and grandson. She said, "I am well cared for, but my room, my little room, is my true world. That's where I read my Bible, sew, listen to music, call an Uber to go to church. That is where I am myself." A private space doesn't need to be big. Sometimes it's just the familiar chair by the window, a morning coffee made exactly the way you like, a closed door for 30 minutes of silence. You don't need to feel guilty for wanting solitude. It is a part of self-respect. Love does not grow in suffocation. It grows in the gentle distance that allows each person to remain themselves. 5. Never hand over all your money and financial control. Money cannot buy happiness. But in old age, money can buy peace of mind, a timely prescription, a trip to visit someone you miss, a meal made exactly the way you enjoy, and most importantly, the power to make decisions for your own life. I once met an elderly man who shared quietly, "I gave my savings book to my son because I thought it showed trust. But now, every time I want to buy something, I have to ask. And every time I ask, I feel a little smaller." My wise friends, I'm not saying we shouldn't help our children. We absolutely can. But keep a portion of your finances under your own name. Not out of selfishness, but out of dignity. There is a special kind of freedom at this age. The freedom to gently say, "I can manage on my own, thank you." You don't need to be wealthy. Just keeping a little control means you won't feel like a burden. You will feel whole, even in simplicity. We have walked a long road, not just through life, but through the roles of parent, partner, provider, and protector. And now, stepping into the quieter chapters, you have the right to keep what truly matters for yourself, whether others understand or not, whether the world rushes forward or slows down. You can still choose dignity, peace, independence, privacy, and control over your own life. You don't need to change everything at once. Just choose one small thing each day. Say a gentle no. Sit quietly for 5 more minutes. Keep a small savings of your own. Close your door when you need stillness. Pour your own cup of tea and smile. If this video awakens something in you, please like it so I know you're still here. Share your thoughts. Your story may be the guiding light for someone else. And if you want more gentle wisdom like this, please subscribe to Lifelong Wisdom. And always remember, old age is not the end. It is the moment you finally live at your own true pace.